winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Suzy Shea, bringing you the top headlines in Central New Jersey. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood. Affordable housing debate, playing around at TEDx Navesink, Huey's final landing, Monmouth Park to return, and schools for sale. In the next decade, Central New Jersey needs to build more affordable housing units than any other area in the state. At least that's what the Council on Affordable Housing says. But just where and how these housing units will be built is the subject of a debate that is building across New Jersey. Municipal officials and affordable housing advocates are already raising questions about the council's projections, which show that Monmouth, Mercer, and Ocean counties will need more than 11,000 new affordable housing units by the year 2024. The controversial quotas will be debated over a 60-day public comment period that begins next month, and the final regulations are set for adoption in November. For more on the affordable housing pictures, see this week's editions of Greater Media Newspapers. And here's Mark Rosman with more headlines.
Testimony began last week in front of the Howell Planning Board on an applicant's development plan to build a 14-screen movie theater at Route 9 North and West Farms Road in Howell. Representatives of the applicant laid out the case for the theater. Residents have not yet had a chance to comment on it. Several waivers are being sought in conjunction with the plan, and that may not sit too well with residents who live directly behind the movie theater. Testimony on this application is expected to continue at the board's June 5th meeting, and you can read about this application in this week's edition of the Tri-Town News.
The final landing of a Vietnam War helicopter was celebrated last week, along with the legacy of those who fought alongside it. Here's Keith Humiller.
After serving 2 tours in Vietnam and sitting in a field for the last 2 decades, a fully restored Huey helicopter has landed at the Vietnam-era Museum and Educational Center at the PNC Bank Arts Center in Holmdel. A group of veterans from the New Jersey Veterans Memorial Foundation spent 3,000 man-hours over the last 14 months sanding, painting, and replacing parts on the chopper, which has now been installed as a permanent memorial to those who served and died in the so-called helicopter war. With working lights and a realistic sound system, Foundation members hope the Huey will attract younger generations to the museum and help to honor the courage and sacrifice of New Jersey's Vietnam veterans. In this week's newspapers, we talked to some of the veterans who once flew the Huey about the importance of recognizing New Jersey soldiers and keeping their stories alive. For the countless Vietnam veterans who returned home to jeers and ridicule in an anti-war America, they say memorials like these help to provide an outlet for remembrance and for some long overdue recognition.
And here are a few headlines that you need to know. 20 Middlesex County towns will share $6.5 million in grants to advance street and safety improvements. The funds will allow towns to complete activities such as street paving without burdening local property taxpayers. After 2 years of ownership uncertainty, the operators of Monmouth Park are ready to start on new ventures, including some pretty hefty upgrades. A new $10 million amphitheater, upscale restaurant, and other amenities are expected to be ready by this time next year. Want to buy a school? It may sound like a silly question, but in Long Branch, it's no joke. The city's Board of Education is selling no fewer than 3 school buildings following a restructuring period and the construction of a new elementary school. To see which buildings are up for sale and for more on any of these stories, see this week's editions of Greater Media Newspapers. Hundreds arrived at Red Bank's Two River Theater this weekend for the TEDx Navesink Conference. The event branches off from the globally recognized TED Talks, which focus on sharing ideas worth spreading. More than 30 speakers were featured at the conference this year, and the theme centered on the concept of play. Greater Media Broadcast News has exclusive interviews with some of the speakers, including Dr. Peter Gray, who warned that a decline in play has led to an increase in mental disorders among children.
Dr. Gray, how are you doing today?
Good.
So tell me a bit about what your research entails.
Well, I've been interested in how children educate themselves through play, and really literally educate themselves through play. And I've studied children in a number of contexts. One of them, not directly but indirectly by interviewing anthropologists, has been to look at how children become educated in hunter-gatherer cultures. And it's interesting to note that parents in hunter-gatherer cultures believe that children and even teenagers need to play essentially all the time. And they allow them to play. They don't expect any serious work from them. They play and explore, and in the process, they learn the skills that are required for success in the culture.
For more on our special coverage of TEDx Navasink, including interviews that you will only find here, see gmnews.com. And now we have Tim Morris with more on local sports.
The Monmouth County Baseball Tournament concludes tonight, May 14th, at Energy Park in Lakewood, home of the Lakewood Blue Claws, Class A affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. Christian Brothers Academy and Colts Neck are the last two teams standing and will vie for the championship, having survived semifinal scares on May 12th. In the first game, CBA grabbed an early 3-0 lead on Freehold Township and then held on for a 3-2 victory. The nightcap of the semifinal doubleheader was also played at Energy Park and pitted Colts Neck against Middletown South. This game was played under the lights following a rain delay of an hour. Colts Neck starter Gianni Magliaro started strong, fanning the side in the first inning. But he wasn't around for the ending of this extra inning game that was won by the Cougars in the 11th inning 6-5 on Jordan Gonzalez's base hit.
Keep chucking 10.
This bunt single by Mike Antico got things going for Colts Neck in a 5-run second inning. Giuseppe Valeri smacked this RBI single that kept the rally going. The Cougars needed all of those 5 runs to win this game. Tim Morris, Greater Media Newspapers.
This spring will bring new blooms, new memories, and new supermarkets. Jack Murtha has the update on the up-and-coming retailers.
Whole Foods Market, the natural and organic grocery store that has inspired a cult-like following since its inception in 1980, is staking a claim in central New Jersey. Last week, the company announced plans to open a store off Route 27 in Metuchen's downtown neighborhood. Because the area has been starved of a supermarket for years, residents and borough officials eagerly welcomed the news. Additional approvals will be needed before the store can open, but a Whole Foods spokesman said he expects the shop to open sometime in 2016 or 17. Marlboro residents, on the other hand, will not have to wait that long. A long-awaited Whole Foods is expected to open on May 21st in a shopping plaza near Routes 9 and 520. That stretch of Route 9 in Marlboro has been eyed by several supermarkets as of late. Lavodi's Old World Market, an Italian specialty shop that dishes up everything from fresh mozzarella to Brooklyn's finest breads, is set to open its second location off Route 9 North this month. While the Lavodi's guys know they're up against tough competition in Whole Foods, they say their family recipes and low prices will help them thrive in the new spot. They had their first location open in Aberdeen about 4 years ago. And just down the road in Marlboro, near its border with Manalapan, the owners of a gourmet Eastern European specialty supermarket are trying to set up shop as well. Net Cost Market has an application before the Marlboro Planning Board to convert an old furniture store into its newest location. The board has yet to render a decision on that proposal. For more information, check out this week's editions of the Edison Metuchen Sentinel and the News Transcript.
And let's see what's happening around town with Amy Rosen.
Organizers of Metuchen's Sheep On Show expect it to be a sheer delight. What's a Sheep On Show? It's a brand new community art event for all ages that involves decorating life-sized wooden sheep cutouts at a cost of $20 per sheep. All are invited to the Old Franklin Schoolhouse on Middlesex Avenue in Metuchen to decorate a sheep from 1 to 5 p.m. on May 18th and to enjoy many free festivities such as music, a sheep scavenger hunt, a lumist, a collaborative yarn bombing project, and more. At the end of the day, the artists can take their works of art home to keep, or leave them on display for the upcoming Junebug Festival. For inspiration, some pre-decorated sheep have been placed around town. When strolling through Metuchen, see if you can spot the space sheep or perhaps a holy sheep, to name a few. Read more about it in this week's Edison Metuchen Sentinel. Back to you, Susie.
The warm weather has given residents a good opportunity to get out there and ride their bikes, but a local cause will give them an even better one. Here's Kathy Chang.
A fourth bicycle course and the participation of a former champion for the U.S. Postal Service professional cycling team will highlight the 7th annual Bike Ride for Amy on June 1st in South Brunswick. Sponsored by the Amy Feynman Behar Foundation, the event raises funds for the early detection and treatment of breast cancer for uninsured women. This year's ride will feature a 15-mile route in addition to the usual 25, 35, and 50-mile courses, which begins and ends at South Brunswick High School and passes through Middlesex and Somerset counties. The foundation will welcome Eddie Gregas, who raced for 8 years as a professional. The Bike Ride for Amy does not require an entry fee, though each rider is asked to raise a minimum of $140, which is the cost of one screening mammogram. According to Ari Behar, president of the foundation, over the past 7 years, the foundation has been able to help more than 2,000 women who lack the financial resources to be screened annually for breast cancer. For more information, visit amyfoundation.org or our website at gmnews.com.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see this week's editions of Greater Media Newspapers. Let us know what you think about the stories at facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shea. See you next time.